Hello, brothers and sisters. I want to read you Matthew 17. This is why I believe Elijah and Moses is the two witnesses for Revelation 11. But again, I'm still in search of supporting that. But here we go. Matthew 17, the Transfiguration. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John. Now, remember I was talking about three? Those are three people. The brothers of, let me read it again, sorry. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brothers of James, and led them up to a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun. His clothes became as white as the light. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah, talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will put up 3 shelters, one for you, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was still speaking, a bright cloud enveloped them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my son, who I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground, terrified. But Jesus came and touched them. "Get up," he said. "Don't be afraid." When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus instructed them, "Don't tell anyone what you have seen until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead." Then the disciples asked him, "Why then do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first?" Jesus replied, "To be sure, Elijah comes and will restore all things. But I tell you, Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him, but have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer at their hands." Then the disciples understood that he was talking to them about John the Baptist. Yeah, so what would you do if you heard God, our Father in heaven, say, "This is my son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him"? What would you do? I tell you what, in Exodus, when God spoke and the Israelites heard God, they freaked out and just like, "Oh, I don't want to hear them. We don't want to hear God, because we will surely die." But yeah, so that's why I believe Moses and Elijah is the two witnesses, because they're the one who are with God and witness God and Christ, the works, and Elijah,